Hello and welcome to We Speak Beginner, another episode for you today. I welcome you along, Viva crew, friends, family, and other members. Hey guys, today I want to talk about your frequently asked questions. We get this a lot, so it's pretty common to us, but we realize it's not so common to others, especially those people setting out. So it can be daunting at times, obviously setting out, and obviously for the rest of us, sometimes we let these things, I suppose, get a little bit harder than what they need to be. Sometimes we overthink things, and we can sort of make mountain out of molehills. So let's talk about getting started. Some of your frequently asked question. And we'll go from here. I want to cover things like I don't have enough time. I don't know where to start. It's a good one. What type of exercise should I be doing when I get started? Another one we get often is what classes work, or and even, do I need to be fit to join in on group exercise? And one we hear often is, I'm uncoordinated. I'm not good in groups, but I won't do it by myself. What should I do? So let's cover a couple of these. First things, I don't have a lot of time. The small of it is this: we all have the same amount of time. It's what we put our time to that counts, and we prioritize things differently. So you ask a runner, a non-runner, I suppose, to go their conversation about running, and they've just started to learn running, and they'll talk to you about how tough it is to run. First you have to go and get your shoes. Once you get your shoes, you got to time a certain way. You have to do these warming up drills. You have to, lengthen your muscles and maybe get some massage, and then you have to tie your shoes right. And then you have to go and do specific warm-ups, and you have to learn how to run. I thought it was about putting one foot in front of the other. And you have to do all of this stuff, drink enough water, make sure you rest up the next day, get some movement into your body. Don't sit still for too long so you seize up. And this is the story from a non-runner going out to run. But if you ask a runner how to run, it's simple. They'll say, find a time and go and run. So, what we make hard and what we make easy is our understanding. Like I mentioned just then, a runner who likes to run, it's easy. But easy and simple are two very different things. So exercise is very much the same. I don't have a lot of time. Well, it's pretty simple. Yes, you do, because we all have the same amount of time. But simple and easy are very different. The hard part is in the easy, I suppose. Finding time to work around, all the stuff that you've got in your day, from the kids to school, to the housework, to the cleaning, to your work, to priorities, to any professional development, to any growth that you're doing, or any plans that you have about moving forward, whether it be leisure, whatever it might be. These are things that you have on, and that makes things difficult, and that's not so easy to work around. Simple to exercise, yes, but that simple and easy is different. Next, you've got priorities, other things that pop up. Sometimes taking care of the family, looking after your pet, managing the house is more important than deadlifting. I get it. I understand. And that's another one. So, all the things that you have in your life, priorities next. Number three, people, we don't have enough time. Well, some people say, another, I suppose, issue that come up is, and, I suppose these are the top 4 or 5 things that crush exercise due to time. Again, your schoolwork, your work, number 2, other priorities. Number 3, the concept of, I don't have 1 to 2 hours to exercise. Thinking that you have to do 1 or 2 hours of exercise can just crush the time you do have to come into the gym. And 4, it's, excuses are pretty easy. They're easy to make. It can be more motivating to do the things that you want to do, to be more motivating to stay at home and it's certainly more motivating to stay in bed on a cold winter's morning than what it is to get out of it. But that's, again, motivation. So it can be more motivating to go with easier options, and we get it. So these are time killers. This is what crushes the concept of of time. And those are the main reasons why people just turn around and say, again, an easy excuse, I don't have enough time because of those reasons. So let's talk about some things that can change that and make it so much easier, I suppose, for us. What should we do if that's our attitude towards fitness, and certainly if we're letting time get a hold of us? Number one, we need to get some support. We need to sit down and make a plan. So prioritize where you might have some time, because we know that proper planning prevents poor performance. So if we actually have a plan to get it into our day, then we can aim to get it into our day. And if we miss it, then we can do the same process for the next day to find a little bit of time. That's really, really important. Sit down, create a bit of a plan, find out what works for you. And at the moment, some of the feedback I get from the members, certainly on a Thursday morning at the club, at 6 a.m. and I'm in there and, I see a few new faces. Hey, how you going? It's great to see you here in the club on a Thursday morning. And I often hear back from some of our members is, the morning classes, the morning spin, it's working for me. I was having a chat with Emma last week. She said, I can just get in, I'll get it done, and it's just good to start my day. So that's a great plan they've put in place to try something, and it's now working for them, and that creates a habit. And we know that it's habits that lead to better health. Next thing is obviously getting some support. So if you feel that you need a little bit more support about what you can do to work around the issues and obstacles that are coming up in your life due to time, then get some support by somebody like us at our club, who are all fitness professionals. And that leads me to another frequently asked question in a moment, to help you prioritize yourself and put yourself first for 150 minutes a week. And that's not a lot to get the base amount of exercise, which is what the guidelines, I think the World Health Organization's guidelines are for health, is 150 minutes. So if we can plan around adding up and accruing some more minutes in your week, that makes a massive, massive thing. Now, the next thing is the point that I made before about not having enough time is 1 to 2 hours is make your workout shorter. Get into the gym and aim to be home within 45 minutes. I mean, you can get in. Anybody that's worked with a coach, trainer, or in a group training knows how much work you can get into 30 to 45 minutes. And it's definitely quality over quantity. Certainly, if time's an issue, then just let it go. Don't be too concerned about time, and be more focused on getting in and doing what you can do, not what you can't do. So that is super important to crush the time issue. So again, a few things to help us with time is sit down, make a plan. And if we fail that plan one day, set aside some more time the next day to get a plan. Next thing, make an appointment with yourself so you can give yourself 30 to 40 minutes of love and get yourself moving. Make those appointments and try to stick with them. And that's where coming in and working with a coach for that accountability comes into place. Firstly, working with a coach, number one, you've made a time aside for yourself. Number two, there's a financial accountability, and we know that makes a difference. When you physically purchase something and you go and purchase something, you've already put it through that there's some value at the end of that. So that's a great way to keep you accountable, certainly with fitness, to get you started. And that will crush the time issue for most people. Third, when you're working with a coach, you're making that time, then you can discuss some of these things that come up week by week and just get that continual positive reinforcement, should I say, that you're on the right track, and here are some possible solutions to what you could be doing in your week. Personally, that's what we do every day. We provide you with fitness solutions to help you make it happen. I am director of the club, and I'm still on the floor. I love working with our team, leading by example and doing that. It's what keeps, I think, me fresh with my crew and with our members, knowing firsthand what are your problems so we can deliver better solutions. That's something at our club that all of us provide. So there's some really helpful things. Again, guys, if you didn't check that out, that was time. We're talking specifically about I don't have enough time to exercise, or I only have 1 to 2 hours a week to exercise. So that's another question: is it even worth it? Yes, it always is worth it. What we know is this, and often I must have mentioned this thousands of times over the last coming 20 years at the moment. If you were to do, like often people want to cancel or they stop for whatever, something comes up. And just on that, if your goal is fitness or certainly weight management, here's a hot tip for you. Never stop. Do not stop. I don't care if jobs change, if we're a little bit ill, if you're getting married, if you've moved, don't stop. The number one tip I could give you is if you're fit and healthy and moving forward, maintain that, because what happens is when we stop, we often go backwards. In my time, the amount of times I've seen someone come to our club, stop for some reason, and it's a valuable reason, but it's also an excuse. And I know that can be pretty blunt, but guys, it literally is. The difference between those that continue and maintain their health and fitness is they have the habit in place. And if we stop that habit, we go elsewhere. But if you can maintain that, if you can keep going one time per week, then imagine this. Let's say it's May and June, July, August, something comes up in May, I'm not sure, it's cold, we get a cough, we get really ill, and all of a sudden it turns into a bad cold and something happens. And then we need 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks to get over that cold, which commonly we see. Do we need it? No. Do we physically tell ourselves we do? Yes, for the most part. So yes, maybe at that time you can't be doing, or it's a silly idea to be doing, running or high intensity aerobic activity. But there's other things you can do to keep the habit of movement going, so you get the well-being and the energy and the vitality from exercise, which is going to keep you more mobile and keep your movement better, making it easier to slip back into those other exercise routines and making you feel less guilty and demotivated to come back in. So consider that you continued with, say, a yoga class a week or body balance, which will be fine for your mobility. Fantastic. Then in 10 weeks' time, after you could have done 10 yoga classes or body balance classes, there's 2 things that I see happen. One, you're more likely to do more than 1 per week. The first thing is, worst case scenario, I do 1 per week. Better case scenario is I do one, I think, you know what, I've got 30 minutes. I've got this rhythm. I might as well go and do another 30 minutes. We see that often, as someone will find more time to get back in. So that's the biggest thing. Often we go with the worst case scenario is coming in only once a week, but we make a better case scenario of doing more than that, and that's great. 2, the other thing that happens is you would have done, let's say, 10 sessions over those 10 weeks, instead of being on hold or cancelling or stopping or whatever, because of whatever reason, you would have done 10 sessions. That means you've done 10 more sessions than if you hadn't. So there's a big shift in your mindset, a big improvement in your attitude because of that. Because you've done those sessions, this is the concept. I can simply slip back into the gym and take off from here. And that is so important. That is so much more motivating than saying, oh, I have to get back into the gym, and delaying that because you feel you have to start all over again. So my point is this: 1 to 2 hours a week, guys, is fine. Yes, it's enough. Anything is better than nothing, and you will get some improvements from that. The actual science shows that exercise is a catalyst for lifestyle improvement. So by you doing even 1 or 2 sessions a week, even if you have 1 or 2 hours, or even if you have an hour, 2 30-minute sessions, it's a catalyst for improvement in your health. So you might find more time to walk, more time to do stretching, more time to be mobile, better focus on your nutrition, more focus on your sleep, more focus on water. These things exercise has a domino effect with those things. So guys, question and frequently asked question number 2 was, I don't have that much time. I only have 1 to 2 hours per week. Is it worth it? The answer was a massive yes. It's a catalyst for other lifestyle improvement. That's all you need to know. By doing a little bit, we know you can add in a little bit more. For those that want to put exercise off or hold or cancel in that time, here's another concept for you there, and that is this. As mentioned, don't put it off. Don't stop for whatever reason. Always maintain, because you would have done in 3 months 13 sessions compared to 0. So the mindset is to step up and keep doing a little bit more rather than have to start all over again. Starting all over again is seen as a negative. We don't like that, so we delay it, put it off. So doing something has a domino effect. I cannot stress that enough, guys. And I've seen many people over my time to give me that experience that's what works. That's what I'm here for. Next. On that, action kills procrastination. So by doing a little bit goes a long way. And as soon as there's a saying, you're only one workout away from a better mood. By getting in and doing something, that action kills the procrastination, kills the anxiety of what should I do? Where do I start? Just do it. There has been billions of dollars made with that catchphrase. Just do it. Whatever that is, don't worry about doing too much. Don't worry about what it is. The one thing I often mention to people that I've worked with that have some fitness background, obviously working with a coach, is get in and go with the flow. Feel what your body needs to do and then just go in and have a play. If that's you, just doing something goes a long way. If you're a beginner, someone that's not sure, let's go on to question number 3. I'm starting out. What groups should I do? Can I do classes? That's one. This also is another question, which is, I'm not fit enough to join into groups, so I want to get fit before I see joining on groups, or I want to get fit before I start using a trainer. This couldn't be further from the truth. The fact is, it's like saying, I want to have a go at fixing my car before I take it to the mechanic so it's in good working order. It just doesn't make sense. I get it that you feel you need to be fit. And here's an idea maybe why. Things like The Biggest Loser and these challenges on TV and ninjas and this and that. There's all sorts out there. Perhaps they've given you an understanding that you should be fit when working with a trainer and that a trainer will yell and scream at you. Well, that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen for new guys. And the reason why they're yelling and screaming perhaps on The Biggest Losers and so forth is because, well, they put their life on hold for 3 months and they have their full undivided attention just on their health and fitness. And there's a lot of stuff done behind the cameras in getting that mindset and getting that commitment to themselves. So, that I suppose fast tracks their process. But for you, the first time person coming into the gym, that's the last thing a good coach is going to do. A good coach is going to work on what you can do. And it's really simple. You're at point A. We want you to get to point B. What's stopping you? What do we need to work around? Let's work through that process together and find what might fit. Is it going to be straight cut for most people? No, it's not. There's going to be ups and downs. But hey, the first time you made a really cool Jamie Oliver meal, and it's the first time you've got out your, got your new fry pan. It's the first time you used it. Trust me, it was no masterpiece. I'm sure of it. And if it was, hey, good luck to you. But for most people, it's a process. It's a process of trial and error and committing to it. That meal tasted nice. I enjoyed it. Next time I make it, I'm going to commit to it, and I'm going to do it again and do it again and do it again. No different than fitness. I know it's good for me. It gave me a bit more energy. I liked my body moving. Okay, it wasn't perfect, but I'm going to commit and make it a little bit better step by step. And that goes a massive, massive way for us in that process. So with classes, here's some ideas for you to start with. If you're over 50 and you've got daytime availability, look at our club. We have things like Strength for Life for you to be come in and do your initial assessment, which is where you see a coach. We see what you can do and what limitations you have. And then we come up with a plan in a group setting where you can do work with other people in your age, in your similar capabilities in your own age bracket, and have coaches walking the floor. That is one of the softest places to start for our over 50s. Fantastic. Another thing is people wanting to do classes, trying some yoga to do some slower stretching and mobility in a nice, comfortable environment. The thing about yoga, it's very non-intimidating, so you don't have to go in at fast pace. So if you're the sort of person that likes to do it a little bit slower, then that's a better option for you. And next one would be body balance, which is a great class for us. Again, similar to yoga, to improve our mobility, but it is a little bit faster. But here's the thing. If you don't get it, if it's not comfortable for you, you can just do it slowly, stay at the back of the class if you want, and just do what you can. What you've got to remember is every master was once a disaster. We've all been there. We are human beings. We are not perfect. And often people come to the gym and they think they need to do their hair, wear Lycra, and be fit. And it couldn't be further from the truth. We're there to help you work on your fitness, and we know that everyone is at a different stage of their journey. It's our job to help you through that process. Super important. Another class that often, if you can do, and most people can, by the way, is RPM. It's simple. You get in and you ride a bike. For those that come and mention to us often that they feel uncoordinated, then that's a great place to start. Jumping on RPM, you're literally sitting on a bike and you're riding a bike to music in a dark room, which is not intimidating, so no one can be sitting behind you checking out your backside. It's dark, it's looking up at the instructor, and away you go. You come in there, you do a warm-up and you work for about 30 minutes, and then you're done and dusted. Most of our clients, for example, will be out of the gym by 6:45, on their way home, get some good breakfast, some good quality protein. They've already had some water in their day to start them off. They're cleansing their system after fasting all night, and that's a great way to start their day. It improves insulin sensitivity, which is great for weight management, and it just kicks you off for a fantastic day. So that is a really nice place for us to start. So in regards to classes, guys, yoga, body balance, RPM. Finally, I'd like to mention, if you aren't coordinated but you want to work in a group setting, then just keep in mind it's going to take you, pick a class, and if you feel that it's okay and you might like it, then that's the first thing you look at. Try 6 times. The number would be 6 times of that class to see if you start improving. Okay, if you like it and you start improving after 6 classes, you know you're getting somewhere. Don't put yourself up against the instructor or somebody like myself or other members at the club that have done a lot of times. I've worked out, I've done over 6,000 classes. So to put yourself up against somebody like that, it's absurd. You know, it's like someone going out for a casual jog going up against Usain Bolt. Not saying that I'm any league of Usain Bolt, but the point is you're going up against a professional that does this all the time. So we understand that, you know, you have to start somewhere, and you don't have to be fit. No. And you don't have a lot of time, need a lot of time. No. The frequency asked questions, as mentioned, was, you know, I don't have time. Is it worth it? Yes. Number 2, I don't know where to start. Great. We can help you. On there, I don't know where to start. Just another question that comes up is who do I ask if I have questions? Well, at the club, you can always ask your instructor when you get set up. Secondly, something that we pride ourselves on is we are a family, but we're also a family and a team of professionals. So from frontline, every single team member at our club can help you with your fitness journey, because most, if not all, are Cert 4 or qualified or above, meaning they're personal trainer level or above, which is awesome, meaning you can get some free advice at any time walking through the door in regards to fitness and general health, okay? And we'll be able to help you with that. So that's really reassuring. We've got some new members at the club recently. Obviously, we have many new members that come on board. But you know, I often hear them chatting at the desk about, you know, what should I eat for breakfast? And I did this last week. I feel good. Should I do it again? Or is it a bit tight here? Is that okay? Is that normal? And the coaching I hear is fantastic. And I just want people to know that we're there to help. So ask your questions at the desk, guys. Another thing that we have is we have our online personal coach known as the Ultimate Body Blitz, where lots of these videos are posted. Actually, there's tens of videos like these and hundreds of recipes to kickstart you off. Something that we like to focus on when we get you started is giving everybody a personal plan. So frequently asked question, you know, I don't know what I should be doing. and I don't know what type of exercise I should be doing. Well, here's some advice. Firstly, we are massive advocates of strength training, humongous advocates of strength training. Let's explain why. There's a sort of a three-pronged attack when getting started and trying to drop body fat. And that is, again, the number one reason why most people still go to the gym is weight loss. So we're going to talk about that. And of course, it might not be for you, and that's fine. But weight training improves, firstly, our range of motion and our movement and our ability. Because every time we work, we are getting some length into those muscles, and we're learning how to use our body correctly. For example, a chest press is also a chest stretch. If I can get a bar to my chest, I've got pretty healthy shoulders. If I can't and my shoulders come forward, we've got some work to do. And as a coach, we'll point that out and come up with some strategies to improve that. So we're massive advocates of strength training, but we're not going to throw you into that. Like I mentioned, I might get you started by doing some gentle movement and stuff that you're comfortable with, that everyone's different. Might get you doing some of those classes, and I'll start taking you through a routine that's going to be specific to your body so you can get familiarity. This is important. It takes the average person 15 to 20 sessions for them to start to get those movements understood. Okay, so the first gains that we get take generally, welcome guys, thanks for coming on, generally take 15 to 20 sessions for us to get an understanding of how to move a bar to my chest, or how to squat, or how to sit, or how to bend. And these sound easy, but they're not. And if you've been with a beginner, I suppose sometimes for me it's like turning around onto my non-comfortable stance in boxing and trying an advanced technique on my opposite side. It feels awkward, and I remind myself of that when I teach a beginner to turn around, do it the other way, and sort of go through how they might be feeling. So when starting people in exercise, we want to step you up and find basic movement patterns and then just start progressing those. You're not going to come into the gym, and start sprinting when you haven't learned how to run, for example. So we need to build you up with those skills. And 15 to 20 sessions of that movement goes a long way. And that's why at that time, we love to give heaps of nutrition advice about what a healthy breakfast, the importance of protein, water, sleep, and all these general ideas. And I think maybe, guys, that makes a really good live video for next week, which we'll jump on, which is, just starting with some basic health and getting started and ticking I suppose the big rocks off, like water and sleep, rather than worrying about supplements. And that was my next question, guys, which is, should I take supplements? Well, listen to next week's video and I'll explain a bit more. But at the moment, if you're not exercising, start with exercise, then we'll worry about the supplements. Nothing. Supplements are supposed to supplement, not substitute good nutrition. So we want to get the big foundations right in the beginning. So we're massive fans, again, of strength work, and we want to get in about 150 minutes a week. But at the beginning, it's all about finding what you might like to do and working through any obstacles that you have. And it comes down to your goal as well. So if we can combine strength training, which is going to make us move better, it's going to help build muscle, and muscle is expensive. Our body doesn't like holding muscle. So, and the reason being is because your body has been around for thousands of years, and it's only in the last, say, 150 to 200 years that food's become more readily available. Your body still thinks it needs to run down a warthog and feed your family and cart it back for 10 miles. So muscle's not going to be helpful in that process, because that's going to be chewing up energy and you're not going to be able to do what you need to do to survive. So that is where our body is, and understanding that is super important to preserve muscle, because the more muscle we have, the more calories we can burn during the day at rest. And our goal is to get us moving better and just boost, and that means boosting up our metabolism by getting ourselves moving, by eating good nutrition. That means in bulk, good nutrition, removing refined sugar as much as you can, limiting your alcohol intake. And there's not a diet on this planet, arguably not a diet on this planet, that discusses using grains and using dairy products to get you in better shape. So if you can remove or reduce these amounts of foods and get more vegetables, this morning I made a beautiful scrambled eggs, which took literally within 10 minutes I was eating. And that could have been less if I had prepared some veggies in advance. And that was simple: mushrooms, some spring onion, grated tomatoes, scramble up 3 scrambled eggs, a little bit of feta and parsley in a bowl, and job done. So doing more of these habits are certainly more important than obviously supplements, and this is going to help us boost our metabolism by giving ourselves these good foods and a little bit of exercise, and that's going to help us feel better and have more energy. So this is the type of exercise, type of things that we should be doing, and just pick a habit. The last thing I want to say is, I suppose frequently asked question is, one frequently asked question that we get is, what else can I do? What else should I be doing? Just slow down and go with the process. Ask yourself right now, in between now and Christmas, here it is, August the 8th, Christmas is a good goal from here to then. If we think, okay, we're coming into the end of the year, pick 1 to 2 things that you want to nail between now and 2019. And that is it. Nothing else. If you're not having breakfast, start making that a focus. If you don't do resistance training but want to look better aesthetically, and some of you don't, some of you just want to be fit and healthy, so that's not as much of a priority, although I'd still have it in. You might be doing 1 to 2 sessions. If you want to look better aesthetically, then I'll be saying more like 3 to 4 sessions if you can manage it, and if you're at 1 to 2, that means going from 2 to 3. Pick one number and try to improve that. If you're at 3, go to 4. If you're at 1, go to 2. If you're at none, go with 1. So pick a habit and make it a habit for the next 4 months. If we do that, like the rule of 21, if we do it 21 times, it takes 21 times or more to build a habit. If we do that religiously over and over again, we're going to start to build these habits. We're going to start to see improvements. So go easy, be clear on your goal, and go from there. So guys, I hope I did rabble on. I tend to do that. I hope that answered your questions. Number 1, we discussed, and go back to the beginning, I don't have a lot of time. And number 2 is I only have 1 to 2 hours. So, what should I do? Is it worth it? Yes, it is. Yes to both of those questions. Number 3, I don't know where to start. I discussed we're all professionals and we give everybody here a one-on-one. We have coaches, we have group training. Just come and talk to us and let's come up with a plan. Please let us know if this is the way you're feeling, if you are a member, so we can help you. Number 3, what type of exercise should I be doing? And it really comes down to what you enjoy. Keep trying. Don't think that you're going to nail it the first time. Give yourself 6 times. Work with a coach. Get some advice. Look at this, spend more time up front, spending more energy and time up front, if you can, to get things right from the get-go, and then go from there. Number 4, do I need to be fit to join into groups? No, you don't. If you can do 20 minutes in a group or an RPM and need to take off, great. Next time aim for 20-25. You can come in and you can take off, so you don't have to see sessions through to the end. We're all about this, guys. This is something that's changed at the club. We are happy for you to join in a group and leave early if you need to. It's about getting there and trying it, and we want to not praise that, but we want to reward that, and we don't want that to be a barrier for you to come to a class. Come and try something. If you have to take off, so be it. And fine, next thing is on Unco, what classes would work for me, because I don't want to go it alone. Again, working with a coach is a fantastic way. Look at training with a buddy and let us do some coaching with the 2 of you together. Jumping on an RPM bike, fantastic place to start. And doing some floor-based exercise like body balance, yoga, and so forth. So that was what we covered today, guys. I'd love to, for those that could join us, thank you. I'd love to, I suppose, have some questions to work on for next week. If you have some other questions you want answered that are frequently asked questions for those people setting out and in your own fitness journey, then please let me answer those. So pop them down. We'll get back to them. I do have some ideas for next week. I think we'll talk a little bit more about where to start. What are the big rocks, the big challenges to overcome. So we'll discuss that next week, and we'll look at things like sleep and water and some things that you might want to put into plan. So guys, Thank you for coming along. I really hope you enjoyed that. You can always come back, listen to the video again. Please share it with your friends. If there is somebody that you think would benefit from this, please share it with them. And I really appreciate having you guys on board. Thanks a lot, guys. Cheers.